1. During the initiating process group, a project manager is developing the project charter. Which of the following is the primary purpose of the project charter? A. To formally authorize the project and provide the project manager with authority to apply organizational resources. B. To define the detailed project scope and deliverables for stakeholder approval. C. To establish the project budget and timeline for execution. D. To document all project risks and mitigation strategies. 2. A project manager is using Earned Value Management (EVM) to track project performance. The project has a budget at completion of $500,000, earned value (EV) of $250,000, and actual cost (AC) of $275,000. What is the Cost Performance Index (CPI)? A 0.91, B 1.10, C 0.83, D 1.20. 3. Which of the following best describes the relationship between a project lifecycle and a product lifecycle? A. They are identical and follow the same phases. B. A product lifecycle can contain multiple project lifecycles. C. A project lifecycle always extends beyond the product lifecycle. D. They are independent and never overlap. 4. In the context of the PMBOK guide, which process group contains the processes required to track, review, and regulate the progress and performance of the project? A. Planning process group. B. Executing process group. C. Monitoring and controlling process group. D. Closing process group. 5. A project manager is identifying stakeholders for a new construction project. Which of the following factors should be considered when assessing stakeholder influence and impact? A. Only their formal authority within the organization. Their power, urgency, and legitimacy in relation to the project. C. Exclusively their financial investment in the project. D. Only their technical expertise relevant to the project. 6. According to PMBOK, what is the primary difference between projects and operations? A. Projects require more resources than operations. B. Projects are temporary endeavors while operations are ongoing. C. Operations involve more stakeholders than projects. D. Projects always have larger budgets than operations. 7. A project manager is developing the scope management plan. This plan is a component of which document? A. Project charter. B. Project management plan. C. Scope statement. D. Requirements documentation. 8. During quality planning, a project manager decides to use a control chart. What is the primary purpose of control charts in project quality management? A. To compare actual results with planned requirements. B. To determine if a process is stable or has predictable performance. C. To identify the root cause of quality defects. D. To measure customer satisfaction levels. 9. Which of the following is a characteristic of the adaptive agile project lifecycle? A. Detailed planning is completed before execution begins. B. Requirements are fully defined at the beginning of the project. C. Scope is defined and approved early, and changes are carefully managed. D. Requirements are progressively elaborated through iterations. 10. A project manager is using a responsibility assignment matrix, RAM. What does a RACI chart specifically identify? A. Resource costs, availability, competencies, and implementation timelines. B. Responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed roles. C. Risk assessment, contingency plans, issue tracking, and change requests. D. Requirements analysis, change impacts, integration plans, and schedules. 11. The project sponsor requests a change that will significantly increase project scope. What should the project manager do first? A. Implement the change immediately since it comes from the sponsor. B. Reject the change to maintain the baseline. C. Evaluate the change through the integrated change control process. D. Update the project management plan to reflect the new scope. 12. Which estimating technique uses historical data from similar projects to estimate duration or cost? A. Bottom-up estimating. B. Parametric estimating. C. Three-point estimating. D. Analogous estimating. 13. A project manager is using the critical chain method for schedule development. What is the primary difference between the critical chain method and the critical path method? A. Critical chain method does not consider activity dependencies. B. Critical chain method considers resource constraints and adds buffers to protect the project completion date. C. Critical chain method is only used for agile projects. D. Critical chain method eliminates the need for schedule baseline. 14. In the context of project communications management, what is the formula for calculating the number of communication channels in a project with 8 stakeholders? A. 8 times 7 equals 56. B. 8 times open parentheses 8 minus 1 close parentheses divided by 2 equals 28. C. 8 squared equals 64. D. 8 plus 7 equals 15. 15. Which document describes how project requirements will be analyzed, documented, and managed throughout the project? A. Requirements Traceability Matrix. B. Requirements Management Plan. Scope Baseline. D. Project Scope Statement. 16. During project execution, a stakeholder requests access to the risk register to review identified risks. The project manager should refer to which document to determine the appropriate course of action? A. Project Charter. B. Stakeholder Engagement Plan. C. Communications Management Plan. D. Risk Management Plan. 17. What is the critical path in a project network diagram? A. The path with the most activities. B. The shortest path through the network. C. The path with the longest duration, determining the shortest project completion time. D. The path with the highest risk activities. 18. A project manager is using Monte Carlo simulation for schedule risk analysis. What is the primary benefit of this technique? A. It eliminates all project risks. B. It provides a deterministic project completion date. C. It provides a probability distribution of possible project completion dates. D. It reduces the need for risk response planning. 19. Which of the following is an output of the defined scope process? A. Work breakdown structure BS. B. Project scope statement. C. Requirements documentation. D. Scope management plan. 20. A project manager is managing a geographically distributed team across multiple time zones. Which communication method would be most effective for complex problem-solving discussions? A. Email correspondence. B. Project management information system updates. C. Interactive communication through video conferencing. D. Push communication via status reports. 21. According to PMBOK, which knowledge area includes the processes to ensure timely completion of the project? A. Project cost management. B. Project schedule management. C. Project integration management. D. Project scope management. 22. A project has a schedule performance index SPI of 0.85 and a cost performance index CPI of 0.15. What does this indicate? A. The project is ahead of schedule and under budget. B. The project is behind schedule and over budget. C. The project is behind schedule but under budget. D. The project is ahead of schedule but over budget. 23. A project manager is using the Delphi technique during the Identify Risks process. What is the primary characteristic of this technique? A. Risks are identified through face-to-face brainstorming sessions with all experts present. B. Experts participate anonymously, and responses are aggregated until consensus is reached. C. Historical data from similar projects is analyzed to identify risks. D. A checklist of common risks is distributed to team members for review. 24. A project manager is developing the project schedule and needs to account for resource limitations. Which technique should be used? Critical path method. B. Resource leveling. Fast tracking. D. What-if scenario analysis. 25. What is the primary purpose of a lessons learned register? A. To document team performance evaluations. B. To record knowledge gained during the project for future projects. C. To track project change requests. D. To maintain a list of project deliverables. 26. During the conduct procurement's process, a project manager must select a seller. Which of the following is a technique used for source selection? A. Cost-benefit analysis. B. Weighted scoring model. C. Variance analysis. D. Monte Carlo simulation. 27. A project manager identifies that a critical resource will be unavailable for 2 weeks. This is documented as what type of dependency? A. Mandatory dependency. External dependency. C. Discretionary dependency. D. Resource dependency. 28. In earned value management, the 2 Complete Performance Index, TCPI, is calculated to determine the cost performance needed to achieve a specific management goal. If TCPI equals 1.2, what does this indicate? A. The project must perform at 120% efficiency with remaining resources to meet the target. B. The project is performing 20% better than planned. C. The project has 20% contingency remaining. D. The project will finish 20% under budget. 29. The project management plan is composed of subsidiary plans and baselines. Which of the following is not a baseline component? Scope baseline. B. Schedule baseline. Cost baseline. D. Quality baseline. 30. A project manager is analyzing whether to make or buy a component. The fixed cost to make is $50,000, variable cost per unit is $20, and the cost to buy is $35 per unit. What is the break-even point? A. 1,000 units. B. 2,500 units. C. 33 units. D. 5,000 units.